we were talking about this earlier. It's something that I am now very invested in seeing happen. But you say that you want to soundtrack the next Doom game, assuming there is.
That's the
Doom
dream,
game.
man. That's been the dream before even playing the stage.
Yeah.
Like when I played the first Doom, I was like 8, 9 years old. I was like, I want to make this kind of stuff. I don't know what this is. I don't know why this is. That's a dream that sat there before Trivium. But if there's one thing I am, it's consistent. I mean, Trivium, 23 years now, Twitch, 6 years now, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, 10 years, Ashtanga Yoga, 15 years. Like, I stick with things that I believe in, that I love. You know, I'll test out some things, and if they're not for me, I'll drop off. But yes, I have theorized many a time what Doom could sound like with me doing that. And I did a lot of research as well, because like I'm a huge fan of what Mick did. I'm a huge fan of what happened on the DLC as well. But, you know, the Mick process was always kind of mind-blowing to me, because I was always a guitar player first, creating music here, and then learning more about modular synthesis. Modular synthesis has been pretty nuts, but I watched a lot of his videos. He did kind of like clinic videos, and I kind of reverse engineered it. So now I kind of learned that modular synth thing, but I took it in my own way, which has been really interesting, because what I've seen him do is he would maybe take the raw audio files of like a drum track or a drum loop or a guitar loop and transform it and deconstruct it there. But I've been doing things where I have it constructed first and then deconstruct it and switch it around. So it's been really fun to learn that and see like what that modular synth stuff is. But instead of relying on the actual synthesis, like relying on a real guitar or relying on a vocal track and then really affecting it afterwards, which is probably something that I'm sure Depeche Mode or someone or Kraftwerk invented that.
Sure.
And we're just seeing it. But it's really, it's been an amazing thing to be able to test all these different things, or even with like Martial Arts Tycoon, have to get the beat of Pagoji right. Like I remember just sending something into the creative director of the game, and Chance said to me, he's like, no, Pagoji has a very specific beat. You need to learn what the Pagoji beat is. And I was like, there's like 30 styles of music out of Brazil. So finally I got it, and he's like, no, this sounds like Pagoji now. So it's been really interesting. Or like doing things like making human grunting sounds for like to make it this tribal beat. It's fun. I love that in music you can create things out of thin air.
Yeah, I'm invested in seeing this Doom thing happen. Maybe like let's petition them. Like what is the kind of style of music that you would put into a Doom game? Let's break it down.
I mean, hypothetically, if they said, we want to have Matt do one, I would want to honor all the different time periods of what it is. Because like when people think of it now, they think Mick era first versus the classic era. I think a classic era first. But it's mixing those worlds. It's seeing other kinds of darkness that wasn't brought in there. Like he really was exemplary in the 8 and 9 string, super low, super heavy, genty but processed, but mechanical sounding at the same time. And I would pull into the darkness of like black metal, bring that in there. The darkness of like old classical music, but shifting that. Like what does something that would have written as a Mozart piece, something like Lacrimosa, but what would that sound like if you took that raw audio and then destroyed it and turned that into something else? So really taking the mediums in which he performed at, or even going back further to the backbone of the original Doom, would 6 strings sound heavier now? I mean, there was a moment where Rammstein kept tuning down to B, and then finally Rammstein tuned back up to E and sounded heavier than ever. So I think I would do something as daring as that, like write a song on 6 string, write it in the E standard, and try to make it as heavy as the 9 string drop E stuff, and do it very differently. Like I think that he's got this very cool like droning intensive heaviness, but I'm known for my right hand. Like I feel like my right hand is my articulation, and I would have these different kinds of articulations in there and making it catchy while making their singable riffs, but also things you could bang your head to. There's so many things that I would like to explore, but I mean it's their call. I put in the universe before. I was lucky enough to have Hugo Martin on my Twitch before, and I was like, hey, if you guys ever need a guy, I'm your guy. I've been wanting to do this since I was 9, and I think my resume speaks for itself.
Yes.
So it's a metal soundtrack, and I think that to have someone that's not metal, I think, it could ruffle some feathers. But I think with someone who's got 23 years of metal cred and now a couple years of game cred, not to talk myself up, I don't like to do that, but I think it's my job resume, Id. Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, Bethesda, ID Software. This is your guy.
I'm ready. Let's go.